Welcome back, my beautiful students, to today's extra credit on the Weebology Podcast. I am your uppity Professor Ricky. I just finished a big project at work. Everything's looking up this week. And, yeah, that was until I watched Tower of God, episode 12. I'm gonna miss this OP. Now look, this episode was awesome. It was one of the best animated. It was some very interesting lore building and storytelling. But to all of the fans of this IP out there, be it the webtoons before or just knew ahead of time because of all the memes, I get it, y'all. I get it. And we will talk about what I get in this episode. So we start out. Very tense situation. We have Anak lying on the ground of the cave with a huge hole in her chest, just getting, like, whooped. But Dorsey was told by Wren that this is your moment as a princess of Jihad to do your duties and kill Anak Jihad, the imposter princess. She says and chooses something I didn't expect. Piss off, Wren. It's clear that Dorsey is not ready to, go the distance in being a princess of Jihad. I don't know if that just means she had made a momentary decision to not kill Anak, or if maybe she had always kind of harbored some negativity towards the idea of being a princess. In any case, she makes a choice to not do what seems to be the duty of a princess of this tower. Wren is starting to whip both of these individuals, and there's an amazing Sakuga-filled battle between Anak, who seems to get up because she can heal herself to a degree with Shinzu. She gives Dorsey the Black March, and things shift dynamically. With the Black March in the hands of one princess and the Green Apple in the hands of a princess, imposter maybe, but a princess nonetheless, they get the upper hand for a time on Wren, little rice ball asshole. And then from the darkness, we see Yuri just said Anak was a little sister despite being a clear abomination according to this. Yes, Shibizu, my boy. I realize now that she's had this mission untold to the audience to do something down there, to make her way. She's been trying to make her way from episode 1 with a navigator down into where, her mission can be fulfilled. It's clear that the director, blonde-haired, long-haired guy, is calm, unusually calm through this whole thing. And we saw there was some tension between him and Leah Rio. And I think that's starting to boil over to a head, because even he says, you seem to be unusually still, very calm for a situation like this. We are starting to see what looks like some of the real rules of the tower, or decisions made by King Jihad in secret to some of his underlings, start to kind of flesh themselves out in relation to everyone else climbing this tower. We kick over to everyone else outside. Let's get it rack. Yes, rack, hunt. Oh, big brain plays today. He made a map of the underground passageways and coaxed the worms to eat them. What? He took care of three birds with one stone. It's incredible. Like, okay, Coon's big brain plays have, in my opinion, with this, gone next level. He goes full Galaxy Universe brain by taking care of every single predator all in one plan. Coon, man, again, I love characters like this, man. Like, the ones that are using their head primarily are the ones that seem to get most done in shonens. A well-written character to have Coon kind of escalate plan after plan, he doesn't seem to have a limit. As much as I said in the last one, I'd like to see Coon have his intelligence directly challenged, what I got instead was the complete opposite, and I still loved it, because they wrote the way he schemes and how he uses all of his comrades in conjunction with each other so masterfully. So that was very satisfying to see. We do have an interaction with Coon that I think puts him in an interesting category of characters within this cast. Aha, member of the Coon family. Oh.
何クン家のトップに立つ気もっと上だビビって俺にナイフも向けれない奴がでかい夢を語るじゃないけど割といい仲間はいるみたいだね
He is someone that, in conversations about loss and driving factors and desire to climb the tower, we see glimpses of this Princess Maria. Now I wonder if he is a man who has experienced loss and went ahead forging forward with Bomb anyway. Because we saw in this show, we saw that one chick, the name escapes me, Serena, I think. It's the knife that Shibizu has now named after her. They all seem to have experienced loss and crumpled under that weight, desperate to do anything to rectify that loss. Whereas Coon, in the face of his loss, found another mission, reconciled with the idea of that loss, and said, I'm good. I got another game plan now. I have another reason to climb. We then get a little interaction between the Navigator and a guy named Wren, a fellow big beefy boy following along Yuri the Assassinator. They have a little meeting with the director because it's apparent they're going to go see him, and the director knew they were going to show up. Man, what does the director know? What does he know? Because he told those two guys, yes, we're letting her run freely to finish her mission. That guy is scheming something crazy, y'all. Like, there's something he knows. And I really, really am not a huge fan. And I have another theory about what he is. But it comes down to the scene y'all have been waiting for me to talk about. So after Curran one-shots Wren, his last words to everyone in the group was, get fucked. Oh no.
仲間もできたし、ちょっとは神の水も使えるようになった。だから大丈夫。一緒にどう？
Oh no. Bomb, shoot a blast. Do something. He tries to defend Rachel and is ready to gear up a Shinzu Blast, which then turns that golden light, expands in what looks like more power, and then the bull eats his ass. I was shook. But this is a shonen, baby. You know what's going to happen next. After the bull starts to swim away, he starts to get more and more erratic and frantic, and all of a sudden, many, many different, like, blasts of golden light come out of the chest of the bull, and Bomb emerges victorious, destroying a beast feared by rankers. He can pull it off. He pulled it off. His friend's faith, this shonen trope of friend faith and Bomb, the main protagonist of a shonen, pulling it off, is not a new trope. What I like here is that in that moment, they used both the great effect of his friend's confidence in him and him gaining a new power. It didn't feel like the power of friendship, right? These are totally separate things. But the way that they jump back and forth between them saying, I trust him, and Bomb just fighting his heart out, it's great. It's a great trope kind of dissected and disassembled to provide a similar effect without feeling tropey. In my opinion, I think it was really, really cool scene. So Bomb succeeds. He beats the bull. The queen of the net dolphins has its mouth open, ready to receive the Shinzu bubble. And then it happens. What the fuck? No! 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 Fuck you, Rachel! God damn it! What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck, Rachel? This is what I get now. The memes, the forums, people's responses on Discord and personal DMs on Instagram. Fuck Rachel. Fuck Rachel. Fuck Rachel. All right, I'm done. Fuck Rachel. One more. Okay. So, this betrayal, why the fuck did she push? Fantastic question. My theory, I think, is Rachel, this entire time, was working with, under, or in some capacity with the director. And I'll tell you why I think that. Remember when Bomb asked to take the administration test and go ask the administrator if I'm allowed to take it? And the director was the one to make the statement, if you work with them, you'll be considered accomplices. I always found that to be a very interesting wording choice. That implies the negative connotation of irregulars did in fact spawn from the directors and the higher-ups in the tower. So, while everyone has heard lore and stories, I mean, even Shibizu said that a irregular's presence in a tower brings with it a calamity. Now, I wonder if the seeds of this negative connotation of an irregular started with people like the director. So from the beginning, we had Wren, the rice ball dude, disfavorable against the regular idea, the concept of irregulars, to the point where he sent the bull to go kill him. Like, basically, a lot of individual characters seem to not like the idea of an irregular. Leah Rio seemed to be the only guy who was in kind of the upper echelon to be really, really kind to Bomb. The only other one could be Yuri by giving him a fighting chance about getting into the tower. So I now hone this question in to wondering if there is this kind of inner political war going on between the idea of some people not really caring about irregulars or even going so far as to help them out, or others who think irregulars are an abomination. breaking the rules. In this show, rules seem to be everything. And breaking said rules comes with it a very weighty consequence. So, to some others, the idea of a knock being born at all is a broken rule, even if she had nothing to do with it. Bomb, coming into the tower as an irregular, having nothing, no agency about making that choice. He just found his way in. They're anomalies. And it seems that King Jihad or some other inner group do not favor anomalies in this universe. The tower is a structured place with rules and tests and administrators, and the idea of a princess being born, of a runaway princess, or someone getting in the tower without being vetted, these acts seem like the product of a long-standing structure, and it would make a lot of sense if all of these were set up and perpetrated by King Jihad himself, even if I'm wishy-washy on that theory. Because if you think, what would you do first if you were a king? Well, if I were an irregular, before, like they said, he was the one to take the test, and only irregulars can take that test that Bomb pleaded to take. Meaning, King Jihad must have been an irregular. He knows the power of that. So, to do everything to maintain his current status and royalty would make a lot of rules and inner workings and assassination attempts to keep irregulars at bay in his tower. This tracks with all the details that we've gotten up to this point. And the other thing is, if you are selecting a set of very, very strong women, the idea of having them go out and make progeny, make kids, is just another variable that you have to worry about. So shutting down their ability to have kids or relationships would be another way to maintain control. On top of all of these rules, and people seem to follow them, and no one ever questioned why. Why do these rules exist? Why are the punishments so harsh for breaking them, even if you have no agency or desire to break them in the first place? So, in all of this being said, I think Rachel is a pawn in all this, being offered something maybe, getting to see the stars herself, getting to go right to the top if it was discovered that Rachel, a regular, and Bomb, an irregular, were buddies before. Possibly even a love interest or romantically feeling for each other. So I think once this had gotten out, meaning it would make a lot of sense that Rachel didn't want this information known. But once it was, I think that might have been the exact moment where her role to play started down that path. Was she coerced? I think maybe. I think there was genuine care. But I still think her betrayal of Bomb in this moment is an egregious act, given how much Bomb has cared about her time and time again, almost to a simp level. I've seen the memes. I could buy it. There's some simp energy there, but he's just a pure dude. He's just a pure guy. So this betrayal burned. This burned really hard for me because Bomb, I think Bomb was a great show. I say was like he's dead or something. It's clearly not dead, but I would be most curious in seeing what is Rachel's game in all this? Who probably coerced her to do this? What part does the director have to play, who smiled the very moment Rachel pushed Bomb out of the Shinzu bubble? He knows some shit. He knows some stuff. And fuck Rachel. Okay, I'm done. But all that being said, this story had great twists. It had great turns. The Sakuga was superb. And, I'm really excited to see where this goes because this whole second half of this season has been about betrayal and rules and relationships. And now the one that Bomb was so avid to protect is now seemingly destroyed. So, I give this episode a 92. I really do. I think it was one of the best, if not the best of the season so far. They definitely got me at the very end. I had no idea what happened before this episode. I saw a couple memes about how much of an asshole Rachel is. I assumed it was the whole like season of just her like being aloof to Bomb's protection. But I get it now. I get it. And boy howdy am I, in this very moment, pissed at Rachel. But until next week, when we have seemingly a finale to the season, we just have to sit here and loom in the anger that is against Rachel. But thank you very much for listening. If you like to watch with your eyes and your ears, hey YouTube gang, sorry, I've had an insane project that just finished up, so I'm about to crank out some videos. By the time you watch this one, hopefully all the others are up in the backlog. And if you want to just listen with your ears and not your eyes, go to YouTube, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, or anywhere else you get your podcast fix. If you want to see a little bit of other visual content, go to our Instagram at weebology.podcast. We got memes on news. Again, we're going to start ramping some of that stuff up more as my schedule gets a little more free in this great isolated summer. Hopefully we lose the isolation soon. Check us out on Twitter at weebologyp, or give us some love on any of those platforms, or our email, weebologypodcast@gmail.com. We are growing a list of things to watch from your recommendations, and I am really excited to start hitting that list hard. But until next time, I'm Ricky, that was Ethan, and this has been Weebology. Deuces! Fuck Rachel!